what is sexy today wasn't sexy yesterday or a century ago.
Welcome to the Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am your host, Anna Love. Wild and Free was born to inspire women to release old patterns that have kept them from living their best life. As a subconscious freedom specialist, I strive to reprogram and reframe generational trauma, not only in myself and the lives of my 3 daughters, but for those who are ready to transform anxiety, fear, and shame into authenticity, freedom, and love. Whether you are 20 years old or 70 years young, buckle up for raw and honest explorations in doing the work necessary so that you may shine your brightest light from your heart and onto the lives of others. Welcome to Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am here with my beautiful special guest, Natalya Borakowski. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So right before we press play, Anna and I already had this deep conversation about connection. And I was telling her my recent trip to Nashville. But essentially, I think what we're going to talk about it today, it's a little internal conflict that we all have between our mind, our heart, and our soul. And before we kind of drop into this whole very deep, complicated subject, a little about me. I'm a naturopathic physician. I practice aesthetic medicine. So yes, I do inject Botox and lip filler for a living, but my soul always craves more. My passion is to truly help women to take the mystery and the fear out of taking care of themselves, help them to deeply understand pros and cons of all the aesthetic procedures, including plastic surgery, and help them to make sort of a more of empowered, educated decision and aging without fear on their own terms, being empowered, strong woman that we really should be.
I love that. I would right from what your intro is, I have a screaming question. If you meet someone and they come in saying, I need these fillers and I need all the things, do you speak with them about, not that you're trying to talk them out of it, right? That's not what I'm asking, but do you speak to them about where is that need coming from or that desire coming from?
Always, always. Every single patient, I start with consultation and I call it the mirror exercise. So I put the mirror on their face and I said, okay, tell me what troubles you. And if I have a patient who just specifically say, I need a syringe of blah, blah, insert the, brand in my cheeks, we'll say, I said, well, what do you try to fix? And I hate the word fix. That's another thing. When people come in and they say they want to fix something, I said, there's nothing in your face that needs fixing. Let me just tell me what troubles you. What do you see? What part of the reflection gives you this kind of uncertainty, fear, discomfort? What do you think that you need in order to sort of open up and glow and be confident?
Yeah. What is it that you believe that you need? That's the key phrase right there.
Yes. Yes. Because often, and it's not a rare occurrence in our clinic when we have women come in and asking, we'll say for lip filler, and the lips are already full. And I talked to them and I said, well, what is it? Oh, I had a terrible day at work and, I'm so stressed out. And I said, listen, you don't need a lip filler. You need a hug. And then just they go away without lip filler and they just get a hug, because another thing I always say to women, I refuse to mess up your beautiful face. Your face is already perfect. And if because of stress or some kind of negative messages you observe elsewhere and you perceive flaw that doesn't exist, I'm not going to fix it.
Wow. So what would you call yourself then? Like you're a healer, but you're also a beautifier, but it needs to align. So
it does. I actually, when I was in Nashville, was part of my talk. I was talking about how I really arrived in this need for helping women to feel beautiful. And it comes from my own childhood, my own struggles with body dysmorphia, anorexia. I've been through all of that. And it was a moment in my life, and I truly believe it because it was such an empowering moment. I was brushing my teeth in my grandmother's bathroom, and I had a thought come through my mind. I wonder how many calories are in toothpaste. That's how messed up I got. So I was 90 pounds and I still believe I was fat. So that was a
How,
rock bottom for me. I
what
was,
was,
I want to say I was around 17, maybe close to 18 years old. And I dropped a toothbrush because I felt like there was a sheer force that came from nowhere and just slapped me across my face. Like I felt a force.
wow.
And I dropped the toothbrush. I looked at myself and I just realized I was destroying myself. And, I always, when I talk about this moment, I always want to say that I also hate to lie to you that it was the last moment I ever doubted my reflection. I always, of course, I did. And I
Right.
had plenty of yo-yo diets afterwards. And it took me years to really develop good relationship with food and then just honor and appreciate food for what it is. Don't label certain food as bad or good, because the truth is there's no bad food. It's just, our um, eating too much of certain things can potentially make you ill. So, but that's a different subject. But essentially, it helped me realize that when I felt confident in my body, when I felt beautiful, it's opened so many doors for me. Because when I was struggling with that body dysmorphia, I was very alone. I had a very bad relationship with my own mother, and I didn't have good friends. I really felt that all the girls were toxic around me. We were all in sort of competition with one another. There were no sisterhood. And once I dropped all this, I attracted different women. And my
Wow.
relationship got deeper. And that's got me this really deep belief. If a woman, if the girl next to me feels beautiful, her world just opens up.
That's right. That's right. Not only opportunities, but depth of relating with another. And that is, a way to expand and grow with that love and grace
Yes.
for you, grace for being who we are and total
Yes.
acceptance. What
Yes.
you're doing is absolutely magical. And I love that you taught us where it came from, right? That pivotal moment, because we all have it, right? And that, what do you think? What do you think that nudge was? What was that nudge telling you to do?
I am a Christian, so I believe in God. I do believe it was either God Himself or my healing angel. I do feel very blessed because I always feel present of my angel. So often I ask him for advice. I ask him to give me an answer to some difficult question, and I have to say I always receive it. And um, I don't want to say that I try to encourage everybody to be spiritual, and it's okay if people don't believe, but it's important to me. And I think that's what really helped me to learn to love myself again, to just really trust that voice and trust that energy that guides me and takes care of me.
That's right. That's where it all comes back to. I believe too. There was a long period of my time when I was not spiritual, and I said there's something missing that I'm not looking for in another person. I'm looking for it in me, and I started to figure that out. But it was there. It's there the whole time, right? And the
Absolutely.
guiding, the ancestors, the angels, God, source, you're all there every time. And what you're teaching women is to, before I will give you what you believe you want to beautify you, you're teaching women to go in and find that source inside and really,
Yes,
really.
absolutely. I always, I will say, piece apart their face to just point out how uniquely beautiful they are, because they are uniquely beautiful. Like one of my favorite songs is Lady Gaga singing that God makes no mistakes, because He doesn't, right?
Right.
We do have a social, like, certain beauty standards, and we believe like this type of the face is more beautiful than that type of the face. But this is so transient and temporary. What is
Mm,
sexy today wasn't sexy yesterday or a century ago. I mean, we look at different pictures of what was beautiful in Renaissance, and we kind of look at it and think, that's kind of weird. I mean, let's say Mona Lisa, right? The famous, beautiful woman, but how many people find her ugly?
right.
You
That's
know?
right. And we're all perfect and complete how we are, and that's what's important. So it's fine to have an augmentation or a refinement of something, but it should not be attached to your worthiness or your confidence, right? And
Absolutely.
we're speaking of what I call the inner critic, which I didn't make it up. Everyone has an inner voice. That's not really us. It's coming from a place of lack and scarcity and competition and judgment and unworthiness, right? And so what you're doing
Yes.
here is you're redirecting, and you're in the field where you probably see loads of women every day and they're out there comparing, and then they say, well, I'm going to come and she's going to fix me. So I just
Yes.
love and honor what you're doing here. So this podcast is called Wild and Free. And I always like to just ask you, how does the words wild and free, how are you helping your clients, right? Or your patients become more wild and become more free inside their own body? Or how have you?
So it really goes back to everything we already talked about, because once a woman sheds that, I would say, shackles of a society to forcing her to be placed in a box. Because if you really think about it, what do we expect from women? We expect them to be perfect, to be polished, to be beautiful, to be a certain weight, to be a certain dress size, to play a certain role. I mean, we are starting to kind of get away from it. And obviously, in the United States, women have so much more freedoms. But I travel a lot throughout the world, and I see most of the world, women still play secondary roles to men. And that's what wild and free is to me. It's not necessarily the woman who, I don't know, let's say does something drastic, like walks away from her family, goes through divorce. It doesn't have to be that extreme. She can still play a role of a mother and a housekeeper and do all those roles if that fills her need. But at the same time, she understands that she is a wild, free individual and she lives her life on her terms. And it's the same thing with beauty. I always talk to women. I'm not telling you to never put makeup on your face or never go to a hairdresser and just go wild natural. That's not the point. But you express your beauty as it aligns with you. Don't let others tell you what you should do.
Wow. I've never actually thought about it in that way, but that's so true. It's an underlying current, though, of being wild and free is choosing you, choosing your path over what magazines tell you, society tells you, the patriarchy tells you, all of the things, right? I love that. The wild and freedom of just choosing you. Thank you for
Yes.
that. That's gorgeous. Wonderful, wonderful. So, what would you say would be a daily ritual or a grounding technique, something that keeps you centered? Because, like you said, we all come from a place where maybe we weren't living at our highest good for ourselves. And then, you said once that toothbrush got slapped out of your hand, that wasn't the final time that you had that inner critic come in, and you still had some battles with food or your inner voice. What would be something that you could tell listeners that they can do to bring themselves back to that, that moment when they had that realization?
Well, first, I want to talk about the rituals, wellness rituals. The very important moment I always want to share with women. I call it sovereign wellness. Don't let anybody else to tell you what you should do to yourself every day. Take their advices. There's wonderful advice out there. Lots of influencers, wellness gurus, they give some really great ideas. Try them like you're wearing a new dress and then see if it fits.
Right
See
on.
if you feel good in it. I can tell you what I do to myself every day, but I don't encourage our listeners to do what I do.
Right.
Because it works for me. It might not work for you. So you try different things. Also, the wellness ritual, it does not have to be complicated. It can be if you have a luxury of time. But most of us are busy businesswomen. We have children. We have husbands to take care of. You just need to honor yourself for as little as 5 minutes a day, but you have to do it daily because that's where our body thrives. It loves repetition. Kind of like a similar, when we raise our children, we do the same nightly routine every day until they learn to fall asleep and they feel secure. And then our soul craves the same thing. We want that repetition. So you just need to make sure whatever it is, even if it's like, we'll say you're using anti-aging serum, but stick to that routine with anti-aging serum and maybe gentle facial massage every night. And then you'll see how from that your body transforms. Because once you feel centered and calm within your own vessel, then everything else around you just aligns.
Yeah. So I'm hearing you say commit, try things on, right? And then don't get attached to them because somebody said you should do it, but give it a try and then commit to it. Once you find something that aligns with you and you're going to go all in, then just go all in and stay with it for a bit. Right? I love that.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
one of the examples I also say, because I assume most of our women listening, probably women, not men, and a lot of women are raised children, or maybe they still have a little children. So, a great example that many women can relate to is when a baby is first born, they don't know how to live. We have to teach them every skill. And the most important skill for any mother to keep her sanity is to teach that child how to sleep through the night. And I always ask women, what did you try? Like, what worked for your child? And women chime in, I sing lullaby, I was rocking him, I was we're taking hot baths. There's so many different remedies, right? The rituals. And I always ask, did you use the same ritual for another child if you have multiple children? And often the answer is no. So that proves my point. We are different. So then you try the different rituals for each child until you find that magic sauce that works for this kid. And it works fast and they enjoy it. They fall asleep and they sleep through the night. You're happy, you sleep through the night. So your body is not different. The fact that you're grown up and you're 30, 40, 50 something, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's still your body loves the ritual and you have to find what ritual that is for you. So try different things, play around and find yours.
We are all unique souls is what that means.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's just so much beauty in that.
There is, in honoring that, in recognizing that, because a lot of listeners, and I know myself, did not grow up in a household that wanted that for me.
Yes.
Right? There's not sometimes a lot of room to expand and take up space, our space, who we're meant to be.
Yes.
Right? It's be small, be in the box,
yes.
Right? Be quiet, do as you're told. So tell us if there's anything on the horizon for you. I know that you mentioned that you're starting a new part of your company. Did you want to talk more about that?
Well, absolutely. It was kind of like another transition in my life because I've been doing aesthetic medicine for many years, almost nearly 20 years. And there are a lot of tragedies, I guess, in aesthetics because women try to pretend to be someone they're not. So I see the most beautiful women still struggling with their reflection. And it became so toxic to me that last year I nearly sold my aesthetic practice. I was actually talking to appraisers and I was ready to walk away from everything because I really hate creating the cookie cutter perfect Barbie frozen faces. And I had this epiphany overnight. I wanted to create educational course. So this is what we're working on. It's still in works. We are planning to launch on September 1st. And it's going to be sort of educational journey. Every day you will be able to log into our app and it will give you a little prompt, quizzes to take, videos to listen, meditations to follow, journal prompts. And we don't want tell women what to do. We just want her to reflect, to understand what potentially self-critic is living with her and accept that critic, you cannot eliminate them. He will always be there, or she, however you can give it the name. And then live in peace with it. And then still radiate and grow and not be afraid of it. That's essentially the whole purpose of that course.
Will this course be a prerequisite before you work on them? Will they have to take it?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Nobody really have to take it. I don't force my beliefs or my strategies to anyone. I just really want to make sure that my voice can reach more people than just people in my chair. Because one of the struggles I have in my practice, it's a struggle of time. We have limited time to go talk to people. And I wish I can sit there and talk for hours with every woman that comes and sit in my chair. But consultation is only 30 minutes. And it's only so much you can say in the 30 minutes. So this is what the course is for women who really feels that she wants to hear more. She wants to learn more. She wants to understand more. And it's just taking the fear out of aesthetic procedures, helping her to take more educational, ask more educational questions, make more educational decisions. There's no sales pitch. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just truly helping women to understand why she should take care of her skin. Why it's important. It's not a luxury. Why she should not feel guilty if she's going to get a facial or a massage. It's normal part and it should be it used to be a part of so many different ancient traditions like Ayurveda or Chinese medicine. And somehow now in 21st century, we shame women who wants to take care of themselves. We frown upon them. We're just saying like, oh, you're going to go see an aesthetic specialist. You're going to have a frozen face and you're going to look like a blown out Barbie with huge lips. And that's not true. That's what I really trying to send it out there. So then the women are empowered and want to take care of themselves, because when they do, they look beautiful. They have healthy, glowing skin.
Yeah.
Everything around them changes.
You're helping women shine from the inside out. And I really feel your heart in this. So you're educating women to really go deep and go inside. And you might be the only one who's doing that around them, right? Especially if they're living in an area where it is about keeping up with the women around them.
Yes, yes. Or there's also women, when I was in Nashville, for example, this past weekend, a lot of women that haven't heard anything about aesthetic medicine. They really feel like it's not for them. They feel like this is something unachievable, it's something unaffordable. And the truth is that the regular skincare could be very affordable. It's really not about the money.
It's not about lip plumpers, it's about skincare, right?
Right, right. And then there's a lot of very inexpensive tricks that you can do. And again, the key is to do it daily, to take care of your face every day. And the cheapest, the most effective anti-aging ingredients is good sleep and a glass of water. And those are free.
You're very natural in your mindset, and I think it's going to be doing great things for this world. So thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Well, I just realized the one thing that I absolutely forgot to share. It's the name of the platform. It's called Unveil You. So whoever's interested, you can check out our landing page. Like I said, the course is not available yet, but we have a wait list open, and the people who do sign up on wait list, they receive extra gifts and discounts once the course opens up on September 1st. And the website is unveilyou.life, not .com, .life. And we are happy to see new people signing up and joining the movement.
Wonderful. I will be definitely doing that. Now, is there any place that you would like to be reached or we could follow you besides this course?
Well, we are also on social media. So we do have an Instagram page, unveilyou.life. And then there's a lot of great videos we already recorded, and there will be more to come for sure.
Wonderful. I'm going straight there. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Anna. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Ready to take the next step in designing a life you love? The Life Design Blueprint membership is your all-access pass to exclusive tools, live guidance, and transformational support to help you move from self-doubt to self-worth. Building on the principles from the Design a Life That Lights You Up ebook, this membership is a deeper dive into creating a life that aligns with who you truly are. You will go beyond surface level self-help with hypnotic techniques and live discussions that create real lasting change in your mindset and life. You will receive ongoing support from me and connect with a community of like-minded women on a similar journey. Each week, I deliver an empowering hypnosis which offers a unique way of working with your subconscious to reframe limiting beliefs, elevate self-worth, and reinforce positive habits. All of our sessions will be recorded and added to our on-demand library for easy access to members. Join me by clicking the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into Wild and Free with Anna Love and being a part of this magical journey with me. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and share with someone you love, even someone you just like. Bonus points if you leave a review. Show notes below gives you everything that you'll need to know, and I'll see you next time. So long for now.